Hey there, staff. This video is intended to be a review of E-Hallpass and how to use E-Hallpass. This video is in lieu of the training that will be held during pre-service. So if you have already utilized E-Hallpass last year, then this is going to be the requirement for you to watch this video in full, because there are a few updates that we want to make sure everybody is in tune with. Before we begin into the hows of E-Hallpass, I really want to address the why, or I guess readdress the why behind this program. We really feel like it is important to have a means to understand and know where students are going when they're not in class. Obviously, our priority is to have students in class learning with the teacher in the instructional setting. Students need to leave at times for various reasons, whether that be the restroom, the nurse, the office, or maybe go get something off a printer. Obviously, we want students to move and have the autonomy to be able to do that when they need to, but we have to set the banks in which our students function within that. And E-Hallpass provides the opportunity for us to set the banks as far as where students can go, how often they can go, how many of them can go, but also give us a means to identify and collect data that might inform us in regards to trends or things that we might need to address both as a whole school, but also individually for students. One of the big differences this year that you're going to see is that we're going to use E-Hallpass a lot more, specifically collecting that data and utilizing that more diligently. And one of those ways is that we're going to task our security officer, Mr. Orth, with utilizing E-Hallpass to pull data at least once a week, if not multiple times a week, to start to identify those students who are taking advantage, those students who might not be going where they're supposed to go, or those students who are maybe leaving class a little too much. And what Mr. Orth is going to do with that information is a multitude of things. One, he's going to pull those students and have conversations with them in partnership with the principals and with the counselors. That way, if we identify that something is really missing or that student needs something, we can address that in a timely manner to ensure that they can get taken care of and then get back into class. Another piece is Mr. Orth is going to be pulling that information and then connecting with teachers to, one, inform them of the trends he is seeing with particular students, but also to provide that data for you all as you have team meetings to address any concerns that may come up. All along this path, as we utilize this data and have these conversations, this opens up the door and opens up the opportunity for us to begin to create plans with students to assist with their attendance, with their ability to stay in class, and possibly even use E-Hallpass as a means to limit some of those things for those students. So our hope is that we can utilize this more fully as a building to ensure that we get the most out of it, to make sure that our students are being served the best that they possibly can be. So one of the biggest themes that you're going to hear this year when it comes to things like E-Hallpass is consistency. And it's just one of those things we're going to have to make a habit and ensure that our students know that when I need to leave class, there's not an option. I just need to make an E-Hallpass, and that's what we're going to use. There was a point last year where we kind of got away from it, and a lot of that came from us down here in the office, that we weren't just diligent enough in creating those passes, specifically when we would call kids down. And that is something that we are committed to fixing and making sure that anytime that a kid is called down, there's going to be a pass created so that they can obviously function and bring that pass with them. A part of that expectation is that when students leave class, they always have that iPad with them. They bring it with them everywhere they go, even if they're going to the restroom. A reminder, we have the shelves outside the restrooms where students will set those. So with that consistency, we really think we can set this as an expectation, and students will catch on and really start utilizing this in a way that grows our students' responsibility within their need to travel throughout the building. So that is our why in all of this, and just a few updates in regards to how that's going to work. The rest of this video is just going to be a quick tutorial of how to create a pass, how to log in, how to accept a pass, and then how to create a pass, which I'm going to fly through. And if you have any further questions, obviously feel free to reach out, and I'll be happy to answer them. So first off, to log in, go to e-hallpass.com. That's going to take you to a screen where you will click the Google icon, select your e-number, email, and then that'll take you to the dashboard from there. Really easy. If for some reason you click that and it does not take you to the dashboard or doesn't log you in, email me with your e-number and I'll get that set up for you so that you are all squared away to get into E-Hallpass. So once you're logged in, just want to point out a couple details on the dashboard that you're going to see. At the top, you're going to see the create button. That's how you're going to create passes when you need to create passes. You have this volume button here that allows you to turn on or off notifications when students create a pass. So let's say you're in the middle of a lecture, student creates a pass, and that is turned on. There's going to be a ding that pops. That way you know a student's trying to go somewhere. Down here in the middle here, where you see My Passes and All Passes, these are going to be tabs that you're going to utilize to see the passes that you have given or the current passes that are out in the building at that particular point in time. So My Passes, you're able to toggle between active or ended passes, which will show you all the passes down here that you have created or that have been for you for that day. The second tab here, All Passes, the only option you're going to see when you click that is active. And so what that gives you is a view of all the students who are currently out of the classroom in the hallways. So maybe you're looking for a student, you check there, you'll see that they're out and about on a pass. So from that homepage is where you're really going to see all the information that you need. So I'm going to run through again how students will create passes. And this view is from their iPad, what it'll look like on their end. And so let's say I'm going to use student Jake today. Jake is trying to go to the restroom and he's leaving Mr. Dom's class. So the way he's going to put that in on his iPad is he's departing from Ryan Dom's class and he's going to the restroom, specifically the restrooms in the 100s Fine Arts Hall. Once he puts in that information, he's going to hit submit, and then on his screen, he'll get a red screen that looks like this. Notice it says waiting approval. That screen is saying that within 5 minutes, the teacher needs to approve this pass, otherwise it goes away. So the thing that I would recommend is that Jake would submit this pass. Jake would raise his hand, say, Mr. Dom, may I please go to the restroom? Mr. Dom, when he can, will go over to the computer and accept that pass. So over on my computer, what I'm going to see is that Jake Smith has submitted a pass, and I'm going to approve or cancel it. In this case, I'm going to approve it, and then his pass will turn green. This is what he will then take out into the hallway as he walks to the bathroom. When he gets to the bathroom, he'll set that on the shelf, go do his thing, and then come back to class. Upon his return, he is going to let the teacher know, hey, I'm back, and the teacher has to hit this end or keep button. That is one of the key things that we're going to stress this year, and that we need to make sure that we are returning kids back to class on E-Hallpass whenever they return. All right, so that is what that would look like from a student perspective and from your perspective as far as accepting a pass. One other type of pass you might see is one that is to either the counseling office or principal's office, and it looks a little bit different because there is an extra option. You'll notice this option of in and out. So again, Jake will submit a pass. You'll approve it in the class. He'll go to the principal's office. When he gets to the office, Miss Dean is going to click this in button. That says Jake arrived to the office. Then when Jake leaves the office, she's going to click the out button, saying that Jake is now leaving the office, going back to class. When he returns to class, the teacher will then need to click end to end that pass to make sure that it shows that Jake arrived at the office at 7:33, left the office at 7:34, and returned back to class at whatever time he returned. So notice the first option here is student creating a pass to a restroom. There's just one approve, one end. If he's going to someplace like the office, there's going to be an approve, there's going to be a check-in, check-out, and return to class. The only thing the classroom teachers will need to worry about is the initial approve and the return to class. All right, so then the last piece that I just want to talk about today is for you to create a pass. So if you're wanting to create a pass for a student, this is how that would work. Two ways you can go about it. You can hit create, or you can go over here and hit teacher pass over on the left-hand side, and that's going to take you to a screen that looks like this. So you'll type in the student's name, Jake Smith, and then where that student is going. Always a good idea to put in a description of why they're going there. What do they need? What are they doing? So on and so forth. And then make sure you click pre-approved pass. Once you hit submit, that student's iPad will turn green. They'll then leave. They'll come back. Upon their return, you'll end that pass. So outside of that, I think you already have a good understanding of what E-Hallpass is. If at any point you have any questions or need some help with this, please let me know. I can't stress enough, though, consistency and making sure that we're ending passes. Those are the two big things that we really ask this year. And again, just a reminder of our commitment to actually utilize this information and data to help grow our kids and to inform you all, to give you a better idea of the needs of your students in regards to them being in class and when they are outside of class, what they're doing, and whether or not they're being diligent with the freedom of passing as they use it. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, best of luck, and we'll see you soon.